Good morning, Jess Larkman of Oceanique. Welcome to 103.7 3WAY-FM. Thanks so much for joining us.
Morning, thanks for having me.
Oh, that's great. Look, it's our pleasure. We've been playing your beautiful new single, Hiding From You.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, me and Maddie are both really happy with that one, so it's nice to have it out in the world.
Yeah, no, it's great. Look, you and twin sister Maddie comprise Oceanique. You're an indie folk duo from Walpole in WA.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing you and Maddie have been performing together for quite a while. Can you tell us a little bit about Oceanique, how you came to be, what yours and Maddie's roles are in Oceanique?
We kind of started probably about three or 4 years ago, and we kind of started taking music a bit more seriously and started doing a few more open mic nights. Like, that's kind of how we started, and then started to get gigs from there, and then decided to do some recordings, and it kind of came about from that, really.
Yeah, so it's only been 3 years you really got stuck in it seriously?
Yeah, I would say 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, that's so things happen pretty quickly for you.
Yeah,
great. Yeah, look, and with look, I know that you play piano and keyboards whilst Maddie plays the guitar. Is this sort of happened by design, or did things just evolve that way?
Yeah, I think they kind of evolved that way. We both actually started out playing guitar, and then Maddie was like a little bit better at it than me, and I was like, nah, I can't have this. I'm going to change my instrument.
Yeah.
So I just kind of took up piano. We both self-taught ourselves how to play, and then, it kind of just evolved from there.
Yeah, look, and I imagine you spent a lot of time together actually learning and sort of developing your sort of skills and your own little sort of techniques together, I guess.
Yeah, we work really well together as well, so when writing it kind of comes so naturally.
Fantastic, yeah, look, that's great. Look, your harmonies, yours and Maddie's harmonies are a thing of beauty. I've got to use that word because that's what they are.
Aww,
yeah, look,
thank you.
Have you had to work really hard at this, or has this just sort of come naturally?
Yes, we had to work pretty hard, but it kind of came naturally in a way that our voices blend, because we're twins, our voices blend so easily.
Yeah.
But we kind of worked really hard in making the harmonies so perfect, I guess. We kind of wanted to make them work really well with the chords that we were playing, and every time we write a song, we spend so much time working out the harmonies and how they'll fit in the song. So, yeah, it kind of comes easy, but then we work hard to make them what they are. Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it? So it's sort of there's that natural connection between you two, but it still takes a lot of hard work. It just doesn't happen by magic, does it? So that's fantastic. Yeah. Look, what about your hometown, Walpole? Look, I believe it's quite a small town.
Yes, there's like 500 people that live there.
How many is that? Sorry, 400 was it?
500.
500, right?
Yeah,
that's quite small.
It's very small. I mean, we're lucky. It's so beautiful down there because it's so isolated. It's on the coast. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Right.
We're so lucky to have grown up in such a place.
Yeah, I bet. And it's funny, isn't it? So, and now what's the biggest town near you? Is it Esperance? Is that sort of the biggest?
It goes like Denmark and then Albany.
Oh, okay.
It's probably the biggest one.
Yeah. So, and you're about 400 k's. Is that 400 k's from Perth?
Yeah. It's like a 5-hour drive down there.
There you go. My research paid off. I got that right.
Yeah.
That's fair. Look, an obvious question. What influence, and you said it's a beautiful town, I absolutely believe it is, but what influence has growing up in a small town had on your music, do you think? I mean, it sounds like it must have had some sort of really profound influence.
Yeah, it's had a big influence, I think. There's something so special about growing up in such an isolated place, but then also, I feel like a lot of songs come from that. Like having to, because me and Maddie moved up to Perth about 3-4 years ago.
Right.
So, like, kind of like the move, there was lots of song inspiration. There's kind of, most of our songs are written about either like leaving that place or like just being, it somehow weaves its way into our music without us even knowing it in a way.
Right.
I think.
That's fantastic. Yeah, look, and so with your new single, Hiding From You, now that's your fifth single, I believe?
Yeah, fifth one.
Yeah, so, and you also released your debut EP, Flowers From Home, early this year. That was in around February?
Yeah, February.
Yeah, so, look, can you tell us a little bit about Hiding From You? I know you sort of spoke about, I know that's, look, I've read it, described as an ode to life on the road, which I think's fantastic. I mean, that's a really sort of great little description. So you can sort of talk about that a little bit. What sort of how it came about? What sort of inspired it?
Yeah, that one actually came about after our EP release and tour that we did earlier this year.
Right.
And we got back to normal life up in Perth after we'd just been on this amazing 6-week tour. And then me and Maddie were like, oh, wow, like, what do we do now? It was kind of, we felt lost, even though we just achieved so much with our music and had the most amazing time. And yeah, we got back and we were it just kind of came from like longing the feeling of being on the road and seeing the endless people you meet and places you see. It just kind of came from that, really.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful song, and I think your harmonies really shine through on that. And it's sort of almost like that when I listen to it, it's like everything really came together beautifully for you. Like all your sort of strengths have all sort of come together really well. It's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, look, I know that the single was produced by James Newhouse. Now, I believe James also played electric guitar on the song. Can you tell us a little bit about James? Has he got a connection with the Waifs?
Yeah, he actually recorded the Waifs' recent album, which was a couple of years ago, but it was their most newest album.
Yep.
Yeah, James is an absolute legend. He mixed our EP, and then we went down and recorded Hiding From You with him.
Yep.
And he's in Bunbury, so that's like an hour and a half from Perth.
Right.
And it was just the most amazing experience. He's so talented. We just brought our song in. We kind of did our own like pre-production before we went down there, and then kind of just brought it to him, and he just like made it so perfect. I think, like you say, the harmonies just really work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He just I feel like it was we had the harmonies before we went in there, but James kind of was the reassurance we needed to be like, no, this is great, and add this here, and yeah, he was awesome. Yeah,
look, he's done a great job, fantastic stuff. Look, I also love your previous single, Grandmother's Shelf. Look, that's another really beautiful piece of work, actually. Can you tell us a little bit about that one too?
Yeah, that was our second single, and that one was definitely about our hometown of Nepal, and just about how every time we go back there, it always feels like there's a part of you that's there, and like there's always a place for you in a way. Like every time we go back, it's like as if we never left, as if everything stayed the same. Still the same people that live there, and still the same people that remember you. And yeah, it's kind of about that and how nice it is, but then also about how you feel like every time you go back, you haven't grown in a way.
Yeah.
Because you've left the place, and then you come back, and it's almost identical to where you left it. But yeah, it's kind of about loving it and then also wanting to do more as well.
It's fantastic. Look, really, the imagery in it is fantastic. I love it. Well done. It's a great piece of work.
Thank you.
Yeah, look,
Thank you.
With your debut album, I know that's due for release in the not too distant future. Have you set a date for that?
We haven't set an official date. We've kind of got the singles that are coming out before the album, like mapped out and like which ones we want to release. But we're kind of tossing up whether to release it at the end of next year or wait until the year after, 2023. Okay. So we're trying to just like work it out. We're kind of in the planning stages at the moment, just trying to figure out.
Oh, okay.
When's the best time?
Yeah, so it's a fair time away. It's not sort of happening shortly.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah. I was wondering that. I wasn't sure. So I'm probably jumping the gun a little bit then. You probably haven't got a name for it yet.
No, we do not.
Because that was going to be my next question.
Hard.
What's it called? But anyway, you've got plenty of time to work on it, so it should be fabulous.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it should be great. Well, look, really look forward to it coming out. Look, you're currently touring WA.
Yes.
I know you've been to, as part of the Hiding From You you're touring Hiding From You, the single, Albany, Yellingup and Margaret River so far, with Fremantle Esperance to come. How's that been?
It's been awesome. Yeah, we went down to Albany last weekend, and that was such a great show.
Yep.
We actually sold it out too, so that was amazing. And really nice to be back down in the south playing shows. I think most of our music is inspired by that area, so it's nice to kind of come back and connect with regional audiences. So, yeah, and Yellingup and Margaret River was they were both amazing shows too. So it was just great. I love playing shows down south.
That's great. Look, I noticed that Walpole wasn't on your on the schedule.
Yeah, we've done Walpole the last 2 times we did regional terrain, and then we were like, let's do Albany, and then the people we know in Walpole can kind of trek it an hour and a half to come to the show, and they actually did. We got quite
that's fantastic,
audience, which was nice.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
It was really good.
Yeah, that's look. Are there any immediate plans for more gigs in WA, or are you sort of taking a bit of a break after this particular tour?
We have a few coming up for the end of the year.
Yeah.
But we're kind of more focusing on planning next year, and we're hoping to do another regional tour, and then also maybe go up to Broome and up north of WA and do a few shows up there. We're kind of just in the planning stages of this next single release and what we're going to tour for that.
Yeah, so. That's fantastic. It's funny because WA is such a huge state. You know, you talk about these places. I've interviewed other artists from WA, and they say that's they come to Victoria, for example, and Victoria's just so tiny. They can get around so quickly. Whereas in WA, you've got to spend days and days on the road, to get around.
Yeah, I know. It's like we're going down to Esperance this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's 8 hours away.
But I guess that gives you fantastic inspiration to write songs like Hiding From You and things like that, doesn't it?
Exactly.
On the road, it's fantastic. So that's the advantage of it. Look, what about touring the East Coast? We'd love to see you over here in Victoria. Any plans for that in that regard?
I would love to come over east. It's definitely in the plans as one of our big goals to do.
Yep.
We're hoping maybe for the album release we do an over east tour. That's kind of the plan, just to see how things open up and just give it some time. But yeah, it's definitely in the plans.
That'd be great. And look, when you plan it all out, and I know that the album's going to be a little while away, think about Warrnambool in Victoria, where we're calling you from. We'd love to see you. Look, I've got to tell you this, and you're probably all aware. I fell in love with Hiding From You so much that I actually played it first on my show. I thought this song is that good that I'm going to kick it off, and that's I like to kick off with a real good one. That sort of. So congratulations! It was an absolute pleasure to play it first up. I think that was about 3 weeks ago. So,
thank you so much.
That's okay. Look, and so we'd love to see you here. Look, before we let you go, and they'll ask you about the future. And look, you probably mapped it out pretty clearly to us anyway, haven't you? Sort of the album's the next big thing on the agenda. With some gigs, yeah. So anything else we can look forward to, or is that pretty much what's
for now, it's kind of just the singles before the albums, touring around that, and then, the album's probably the big goal we're working on.
Right.
And then hopefully, like I say, go over east eventually would be, that's the plan.
That'd be fantastic. Look, thanks so much, Jess, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll follow your career, your and Maddie's career, Oceanique, very, very closely, and we'll keep playing your lovely songs, and can't wait for the album. And look, can you give us a bit of a hint on what the next single is, or you haven't decided yet?
Yes, we have decided the next single.
Okay.
It's called Emotional Weight, and this one's actually got probably my favourite harmonies in it.
Oh, okay.
In the bridge section, there's this big ooh section where the instruments drop out. It's just the harmonies. It's pretty cool.
Great.
It's amazing.
Can't wait for it. Now, that's a big statement, isn't it? Your favourite harmonies, your best harmonies. That's fantastic.
I know.
Can't wait to hear it. Look, thanks so much for joining us, and it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.